This episode is brought to you by Audi. The road is calling. Embrace the thrill of the drive with the all-new, fully electric Audi Q6 e-tron. Featuring effortless power, serious acceleration, and advanced Audi tech. It's not just a new EV. It's a new way to experience driving. The all-new, fully electric Audi Q6 e-tron is here. The next chapter of Audi starts now.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
Imagine what's possible when learning doesn't get in the way of life. At Capella University, our game-changing FlexPath learning format lets you set your own deadlines so you can learn at a time and pace that works for you. It's an education you can tailor to your schedule. That means you don't have to put your life on hold to pursue your professional goals. Instead, enjoy learning your way and earn your degree without missing a beat. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University. Learn more at capella.edu.
Welcome back to the Infinite Rabbit Hole. I'm your host, Jeremy. Today, we have a guest for the third week in a row. This is like some kind of record.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
Fancy.
It's like the third time in a row where you don't have to listen to us talk to ourselves so we can hear our own voices. Yeah, you get something fresh, something different. But before we introduce you to the fresh, new, different voice, let's introduce you to some old, boring, stale voices first. We'll go to the oldest, stalest voice there is. Me. How are you doing, Jeremy? Doing all right? Went to work today, worked 14 hours. That was great. Now I'm going to go over here and listen to two other stale voices.
Is this oldest by age or oldest by podcast appearance? Because Jeff has gray in his beard.
Listen.
He's old.
I'm older.
He's older.
I'm older than Jeff. Jeff, am I older than you? I'm older than you.
Jeff's like 42.
Pretty sure you guys are both older than me.
No, Jake is not older than
I'm just gray because I'm tired from holding the team up all the fucking time.
Yeah. All right. Let's stop fooling around, everybody. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Stop fooling
Jeff,
around,
how you doing?
Jeff.
How you doing, Jeff? You're muted again.
What an
I'm muted. I just played video games all weekend because I'm a lazy piece of shit, and that's what I did. So I'm great.
Wow.
A lot of people don't know this, but Jeff actually didn't mute himself. That was NASA because last week he broke into NASA, and they've been randomly muting his mic.
Yeah, we broke into NASA and paid them $80 to get in there because
it was all a coup. An elaborate ruse.
Well, Jake, we've already heard how your day went, but now that we're actually recording the episode, what's going on, man? How you been?
It was good. Me and Whitney got into ice fishing. The ice on Lake Menominee and Tanner Lake is about 2.5 feet thick, so enough to drive a truck on. And I got my deer back for the butcher shop, and so we were grilling up a little Weber grill. We were grilling up some deer brats while ice fishing today. It's funny. We didn't get anything. The only bite that happened was my buddy's 6-year-old son. The second he put his lure into the water, it just nabbed it. And he tried, and then it snapped off, and that was it. So we were out there for like 4.5 hours, but it was nice. I mean, the weather today, we were all in our snow gear, but take our big jackets off. We're just in hoodies, and it was nice and warm. It's probably high 40s, and just a great way to be out in the sun, get some vitamin D. You know, Whitney's like, this is really helping with the whole seasonal depression thing of just being inside for every single weekend. You know,
man, isn't it weird? You get these 40-degree days that you see in the fall, and you're like, fuck, it's coming, right? And you're like, shit. And then you get it in the springtime after you just had like 2 weeks of negative temperatures.
Oh my gosh, it was negative 20 on our flight line at work last week, and I was like, you got to be freaking kidding me. Like, it's so freaking cold.
Yeah,
like,
it's ridiculous. It makes that seawall just sound so much better back in Norfolk.
Right? Oh, 10 degrees. That's like beach weather.
That's nothing. Let's go swimming.
Right.
I guess the only real update that I have is that I finally got steroids in from the doctor to help me out with this walking pneumonia I've been fighting for almost a month now. So hopefully I won't have to keep coughing into the microphone and making a fool out of myself and
almost dying in front of your wife.
Yeah, almost dying. So that's all good, right?
Yeah.
But now that we're completely done with all the updates from the cast of the Infinite Rabbit Hole podcast, let's move on to why you're all here today. And that is because we have a guest here. Way far away. We had to reach very, very far for this one. Actually, we'll go to the origin story here. As you all know, as listeners of the Infinite Rabbit Hole, we did our first public appearance over the summer in Elmwood, Wisconsin for UFO Days 2024. And the person you are about to meet was one of the people who actually showed up to our presentation. And she had to sit through it. I apologize for that. And when we were done, she told us how terrible it was. She said, you know, I was going to do a podcast, but now that I've seen you guys do it, I kind of don't want to go through that. And I said, I don't blame you. Anywho, she did start that podcast. And that podcast is what we're going to talk about tonight. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you all to Raven.
Hello.
Raven.
Hello, and thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm good. It's been a very busy day in the way of like podcast stuff. I did an interview earlier this afternoon with someone about a haunted bar that we're going to go investigate soon, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I just did that today, and my co-host is actually out podcasting right now, working on a really big episode. So it's been a very busy day in the world of podcasting, but really good. And all of the things you said about Elmwood were true. I did say that to you, and I'm sorry. I take it back. Just
yeah, 100%
take it all back right now anyway, just for the 100%. Sake of today and the show.
Yeah, I come with nothing but truth. That's been my slogan since before I came out of the womb.
I believe it.
It's on my birth certificate.
The truth. Jeremy, the truth social.
So let's talk about your show. Darkwoods Paranormal is the name of your show, and you started it when we had talked in July, the end of July. You guys were still planning it, correct? You hadn't actually started it yet.
So we were in the works, trying to figure out what kind of vibe or what we were really looking for when it came to the show itself. And then in October of last year, we actually released our first couple of episodes, and that we did it in a very interesting way. Actually, we went to Eureka Springs, Arkansas for they have an annual zombie crawl. So not like your zombie pub crawl. It is amazing. It is such an amazing town. This town is full of haunted history. The Crescent Hotel is there, which is one of the most haunted hotels in the U.S. Just an amazing location itself. And then yes, every Halloween season they do this. Everybody, I don't know if everybody in the town, but a lot of people in the town dress up like zombies. People come, like it brings in a lot of visitors, and they just do this massive parade. It's like 2,000 people down in this little town. Just incredible. But we showed up, we were vendors there, and we decided that was where we were going to launch our first few episodes, and that's what we did. So it was really fun. It was great.
That's awesome. There's a man, very, very early on in the podcast, during the build of the Infinite Rabbit Hole, I was teasing around with doing this. I don't know. It was sort of like kind of like a mock episode, but at the same time, it was going to cover a serious topic on the month of October in Kansas. There's a whole county in Kansas that celebrates October as Zombie Preparedness Month. And I just tried looking it up real quick, and it's during October, the Kansas Division of Emergency Management places a special emphasis on reminding the public with tongue firmly in cheek to be prepared for zombies. This has been posted by the Plains Guardian, which is actually Jake DOD.live.mil, by the way.
Oh wow.
So yeah, that's something that we were going to do. We never did do it.
We didn't,
but we could definitely revisit that at some point. But it's kind of funny. I had to look that up and just see if that was something. If it was Arkansas, I was like, was it Arkansas or was it Kansas? I couldn't remember, and it wasn't. I was like,
well, we should all do it. I would be down. We should.
We should. I remember doing the initial research for it, and it was. Man, there were some really cool things. Like you get all those people who do like the zombie hunter trucks. You know, they have all those the preppers that prep for the zombie apocalypse and everything, and they have all these like really cool trucks with like the plows on the front. It's just painted up with zombie guts and everything looks like something out of Mad Max. It's hilarious. It's great. So yeah. What was it like that at all down there?
There was a little bit of that. So they do the whole, like, everybody dresses up, and then they do have all of the cars. You do have some of the, I guess you'd say, like, the zombie trucks that go through town as well. So it's all people, and then it's a bunch of cars and trucks that parade through too. But yeah, just an incredible experience. Yeah. We talked about doing it again. I'm not quite sure if we're going to do the same thing this year or if we're going to do something else yet, but we definitely talked about it. I would love to do what you were just talking about, though. That is definitely up my alley as well. So,
are you guys going back to UFO Days?
We're definitely going back to UFO Days. We have a lot of things actually coming up for Darkwoods Paranormal within the next few months. So I'm super excited about that. But this week, I love that you reached out. You actually reached out just the other day, yesterday. It was yesterday.
Yeah.
Yep. But I loved that because on Thursday we leave for Missouri. We're going to Missouri Paracon, which is one of the Kansas City.
Oh, nice.
So we will be there starting Thursday and then leaving on Sunday. But it's got like a bunch of well-known paranormal people, of course, but think ghost hunters and psychics and all of those, but a lot of really interesting speakers, and so we're going to be there on Thursday, and then after that we'll head to Milwaukee for HorrorCon as well. We're going to be there, and we're going to be in Illinois to interview the owners of the DeSoto Hotel, which is one of the most haunted hotels in Galena, Illinois. And then after that, we have an event in Appleton at CapCon, which is a cryptid convention. So we'll be there. And then UFO Days, of course.
Gosh,
so you're already getting out there.
I'm jealous. Like, we've been doing this for over 4 years, and we don't go anywhere.
And I was supposed to ask you if you guys would ever be interested, via Gabriel, my co-host, if you guys would ever be interested in possibly coming to Eureka Springs or doing some sort of event with us like that. So
yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Not if I have to fly.
Yeah, Jeff. Well, Jeff's in Florida, and he's He's if you remember, he's a conspiracy guy.
Flying out the fucking window, bro. You see all these plane crashes in the last month?
That is insane, isn't it?
I'm not doing it.
It is pretty. I'm about to. So at the end of March, taking the whole family down to the Dominican Republic, and
wow,
don't fly.
Yeah, that's
don't fly, drive.
Yeah, just go ahead and drive your amphibious vehicle.
Oh, you don't have one
across
of those?
the ocean.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, you don't have one of those. You don't have an airboat, bro. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Right? What a nerd.
What are you, poor?
No, I will be driving up there for UFO days, though. I'm not flying, bro. I'm gonna take the whole week off and just make a road trip of it.
We got a whole crew coming this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crystal's coming.
Crystal's coming. Kid, our old our old co-host, Kenzar from Canada, or she's from Canada. She'll be bringing her boyfriend. We got our tech guy Skeeter. He was there last year. He was the one that saved the entire day for us.
Yeah.
And I'm sure. Oh, Danny.
Is Danny coming?
Has said he said multiple times that he was. We got to hold him to it. I don't know if he's going to or not, but he has said multiple times that he was going to try. So if he doesn't, then we'll just have to say every single episode of
Danny lied to us.
That Danny lied to us,
and he's
every
not our top fan. Oh, that's cool. I'm super impressed that your podcast is so young and you guys are really just getting out there and exploring. Like that's when I was stationed in California. We had talked about doing going to the original site of like the Patterson Gimlin Bigfoot film, but everything has just been talk, right? It's nothing's ever really come to fruition. So it's really cool that y'all are getting out there and exploring and actually sitting down and interviewing people and stuff. Like that's pretty dope.
No, it's super fun.
Sure.
It is. We did the one in Eureka Springs. Kind of. I don't want to say it was on a whim, but I mean it was Gabriel's idea. And so we ended up. We did it. It was so much fun that we came back and went, okay, let's do more. Let's do more. Let's do as many as we can in this. As many as we can to go to conventions. And now we're starting to add interviews. Like I said, I was interviewing somebody today about a haunted bar that we're going to go investigate the weekend after we get back. So we get back the 2nd of March. And then that following weekend we'll be at a bar in Barron and doing a overnight investigation of their bar, which is a bar called Skippy's Bar. We're actually doing a raffle where somebody could win a chance to investigate with us because this is not something they ever do there. But they will win the chance, and the proceeds from the raffle tickets are actually going to go to the local animal shelter. So we're trying to do something good with that too. But yeah, we're trying to get all over the place and get our name out there and doing the work, which is a lot. It's a lot of work, especially since both of us, we both work full-time jobs and both work 2 jobs, but we're still
we need to get them hooked up with what's his name from Tales from the Animal Kingdom so they can go explore the Shrieking Woods.
Oh yeah. Adam.
Yeah.
Jeremy, pull up the website, not the Spotify, because on the homepage or her website, you can see there's a YouTube video. I like the setup that you have, with the guest on the couch situation.
Yeah, I'll pull it up first. I just want to talk about some of the topics that they cover here.
Okay, my bad.
I also wanted to point out that we need to get this up right here. I gotta listen to their show first. I'm not logged into my normal one on my phone. Because one of these 5 stars is from me, by the way, just so you know. Yeah, you're welcome.
Don't worry, I'll balance it out with a 1-star later. We'll get Digital Assassin in here. He'll
fuck that all up for you. I'm pretty sure you've heard of the dead internet theory, right?
I believe I have, but you might need to refresh me.
I'm pretty sure that this dipshit, what was his name again?
Digital Assassin.
Digital
or as you guys say, Digital Ass Hat.
Yes, Digital Ass Hat. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's his government name. I'm pretty sure he's the perfect example of the dead internet theory. Basically, that the internet is nothing but bots, or it's 95% bots, and there's not a ton of real people out there. There's just a bunch of bots interacting with each other. Is that right, Jeff?
That's part of the theory, yes.
Well, fill us in with the rest of it.
Skeeter says in the chat, I know that bar. It's not far from me. When's that happening? What bar?
Oh, when is it happening? Is that what? Sorry, I didn't see that. Okay, it's actually the 7th.
Yeah, when and what
it would be the 7th. I want to say it's that Friday, the first Friday in March.
Skippies.
Yep. Yeah.
Skippies.
Okay. Cool deal.
And so they will,
Like
if they buy a raffle ticket, they can enter to win, possibly, right? A chance to investigate. But we do, of course, have some rules on that. They can't be drunk and they can't be crazy.
Oh, sorry, Skeeter. You can't go.
Wait. They can't be a drunk, or they can't be drunk.
What did you say?
They can't be drunk, or they can't be a drunk.
They can be a drunk, but just not a drunk that night. Yeah.
I got you.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh yeah, check that out.
You're in.
So
there.
Yeah. See, I like that. I like a personal podcast setup, right? Like,
yeah.
Where you're obviously we can't do this because we're all remote and shit. But
and actually,
I like these type of shows.
That was at Shaker's Cigar Bar in Milwaukee. We interviewed.
Yeah, Shakers is cool, man. Shakers is I've been to Shakers. Shakers is pretty sweet. That they have a lot of
the gear there.
They have a lot of mafia ties there, don't they?
It used to be owned by the Capones, so the Capone brothers, and it also was. So it was a speakeasy. It was a brothel. And I can't remember the exact name of the woman who was murdered up in actually the room that we were sitting in right there. She was murdered up in that room. And so the story, of course, is that she now haunts the building, along with another girl who was 8 and fell out of a tree and died on the property. She also haunts the bathroom downstairs. The bar also has ties to Jeffrey Dahmer, which piqued my curiosity because I have always been a very big true crime person. So
I thought you were going to say fan of Jeffrey Dahmer.
No.
I also eat people.
However, I will share the story. Well, I was there. So the owner's name is Bob Weiss. He's such he's an interesting person. Really, really liked meeting him. But we were there and we were done with our interview. We went back down into the bar, and he, of course, knowing that I was interested in the Jeffrey Dahmer stuff, he basically pulled me over and said, "This is the detective that took the infamous mugshot," and also handed Jeffrey Dahmer the bologna sandwich after he was booked. And I got to meet the detective. And so for me, I was pretty excited.
That's cool.
That's freaking cool.
I thought so. But
that is really cool.
I really, I think we'll probably go back there at one point too, because even Bob said something the other day, would love to have us back. So I would love to go back there and interview him again. And I highly recommend just even visiting that place because it was such a cool establishment.
Yeah, I would totally go to Shakers and talk to Bob. That would be a cool experience. That's one thing that we don't do a ton of on the Infinite Rabbit Hole is we don't dive into the paranormal spirit aspect of things a lot. We used to have a co-host named CJ who was mostly responsible to cover a lot of that, and he was kind of like I don't know, our fourth piece that kind of filled in that gap that we never really refilled. So we've kind of stayed away from that whole aspect of things because none of us really can speak on it. So, but it would be a cool place to go because when I joined the Navy, I actually joined the Navy from Kenosha, which is just south of Milwaukee.
Yeah.
It's, not far. Like when I used to go pick up my dad from the airport, he used to fly into the Milwaukee airport. And I used to go. I've been to Shakers a couple times. I never went and actually got to talk to Bob, or probably got to see all the cool stuff you did. But at least I was there, and I knew the history of it and everything, which was neat. Jake, when I did MEPS is right next to Shakers.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. MEPS is the military entry program. Back when I was getting ready to when they make you do the underwear Olympics. When they make you get down to your skivvies and do something called a duck walk.
It's to make sure that your joints and your knees and hips and stuff aren't deformed or you're not busted up. Yeah.
It's awful. So one of the worst days of my life.
It's not the worst. That's like basic frat house type stuff. If you wanted to get into a fraternity, you'd have to do that every day for like
No. That act wasn't the worst thing in my life. It was that day.
Oh,
it's all the searching that they have to do.
Yes. Investigating
the things when he takes the little nitrite or latex gloves and he's like, "All right, buddy, pap, time to go in." And it's like, damn. Yeah, I didn't know this was gonna happen. He's like, surprise. And you're like, shit.
Hey man, that guy was a great kisser, okay? At least at my MEPS he was, so whatever.
Listen, man, he asked me if I wanted cinnamon or mint, and I told him I hated Big Red. And he took a big old pack of Big Red and took the whole pack and put it in his mouth. He's like, look at me, you don't get a choice. And I was like,
this is the military.
All right.
Skeeter says,
cool.
Squeal like a pig.
Then that's what I did. All right. Let's see. So I see. So you're not tied to just the spiritual aspect of it, but just by looking at the titles of your episodes, right? You've covered things like the Mandela Effect, Ozark Howler, Krampus. I saw Krampus on there. These are all things that we have also covered ourselves. Oh, look, it's Kenzar. Now she wants to show up. Oh, look, it's Kenzar. Yay, Kenzar. So late. Oh, yay. We were talking about you, but so late. So that's cool. How wide is your scope?
I think it's pretty wide. I mean, we really didn't we haven't really narrowed down that part of it. And the way we pick it is really like, we alternate usually between who's doing what. So like, actually, I will say Gabriel's done the last couple, but he is picking what he wants to do, right? So he is like, this is what I'm working on this week. Mm-hmm. And I'll do the same thing. Like for me, I did the Beast of Bray Road one just because, I mean, I'm from where I'm from, like I've always heard that story about the Beast of Bray Road. So for me, I was like, I really want to cover stuff like, that, I don't know. Yeah, for me, it's like, I like the cryptid stuff. I like the Beast of Bray Road. I would love to cover Bigfoot, of course, at some point. That's going to be a huge thing, of course. And it just really depends on what we're feeling.
Uh-oh. The last cookie.
You can get a new box of cookies in as fast as an hour with Walmart Express Delivery.
Are you my guilty self-conscience?
No, I'm the voice offering you promo code EXPRESS for free delivery on your first order.
Hey, who ate my cookies?
You mean these cookies?
Order now. Welcome to your Walmart. Promotion valid for first express delivery order. $50 minimum subject to availability. Restrictions apply.
I can say to my new Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, hey, find a keto-friendly restaurant nearby and text it to Beth and Steve. And it does, without me lifting a finger. So I can get in more squats anywhere I can. 1, 2, 3.
Will that be cash or credit?
Credit. 4.
Galaxy S25 Ultra, the AI companion that does the heavy lifting so you can do you. Get yours at Samsung.com. Compatible with select apps. Requires Google Gemini account. Results may vary based on input. Check responses for accuracy.
This episode is brought to you by Prime Video. In the small town of Holland, Michigan, nothing is ever what it seems. Behind the tulip festivals and pretty houses lay dark secrets that threaten to tear a marriage apart. Nicole Kidman stars in this darkly twisted thriller about a wife and mother whose quest to uncover her husband's secrets may get her more than she bargained for. Holland, streaming on Prime Video March 27th.
Man, Linda Godfrey, she was she was probably the world's expert on the Beast of Bray Road. And shortly after we did our Beast of Bray Road special, we did a 2-parter on it. I was still in the Navy at the time. I had reached out to her via Facebook Messenger, and I actually got a reply from her. And she politely declined, like the class act she was. And she said that her health was, not in the best at the time. And unfortunately, like literally a few weeks after I got that message, I found out she passed away. And I was like, oh man, that sucks. That was terrible, but yeah. So, that's really cool. I'm thoroughly impressed. Mark me thoroughly impressed. With what you've been able to do with your show in such a short time. It's makes us look lazy.
Well, we are lazy, so
Well, yeah, for sure. I've been dragging my feet for a long time.
It's like what Dr. Phil says: if you feel like a dirtbag, it's probably because you're a dirtbag. Just own it. Say it with me. Yeah. I am a dirtbag.
I think it's just it's a subject we're both really passionate about. I've done podcasts actually for years. I was doing a true crime podcast before this one, and I did a true crime podcast on my own before that one. The last one I did was with a group of friends, and then so I've always loved podcasting. I have a degree in broadcast radio, actually. So it's always something I've wanted to do. So when this opportunity came up again, I was like, yeah, all right, let's do it. So yeah. And just
nice.
Like Gabriel himself, like we've both been into the paranormal for a very long time. He's had a lot of experiences himself. I think probably his whole life. And so like for him, it's just been something that he's always been like, just not just interested in, but experienced. Do you know what I mean? So like he's had so many experiences. And I also do think though, and I have a theory, I don't know what you guys think about it or what your thoughts are on like spirits and ghosts. And, but my theory, I think, is that some people are just more open to it, and that's why they have more experiences. And some people are, might be skeptics and closed off, and but they don't have the experiences. But there are people out there that are just really, really open, and they can sense things a lot better. And so that's definitely how he is, and he can go into a place. We actually just had an experience the other night, but I'll get there in a second. But it's he can go into places and just feel shifts and those kinds of things. But yeah, the other night we were at a location, and I noticed him. He stopped and he looked. And he was looking, and I just know, like I know him so well at this point that like I know he sees something. But I did not quite ask him. I'm like, I see something, and he's like, "Yep," but we're quiet about it, And then he left and was doing something else, and I was looking. And I didn't even know what he saw or where he saw it. I just knew it was a general location. So I also was looking, and yeah, sure enough, like I saw something too. So as soon as we left the building, I said, "So what did you see?" And he said, "I saw a shadow." I said, "By the door?" And he said, "Yep." And I said, "Yep, I saw it too." So, and those are separate experiences, but.
Does he ever walk into a location? He's like, "Nah, there's nothing here."
Well, I'm sure he does that. Like, or he'll say, "Well, things aren't really active, whatever." But like certain things, like if it's raining or a certain time of the day, like, it's definitely amped up. So.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of theories on that, and it's when you come across someone who's susceptible to being attractive to spirits, they often are attractive to other aspects of the supernatural as well. Things, a lot of people will throw cryptids into the category of the supernatural. Same thing with aliens and UFOs and portals and all kinds of anomalous activities and events, right? They'll group them up into the supernatural category. And I've heard all kinds of different theories as to why some people are more susceptible to these kind of things, and the spectrum of answers is wide, and I don't know if there's necessarily one answer to it. It's tough to say, because I'm not right. I'm not one that just can walk into a room and say, yeah, there's a spirit in here. I've never really had a run-in with a spirit except for once, and that was one time when I was in the military, where I had this weird thing happen to me in the middle of the night where something grabbed my toe, and I heard a little girl running away, laughing in the middle of a ship full of sailors in the middle of the ocean.
It was a sailor.
And it probably was. It probably was. It very well probably was. But it's that was the only thing that I've ever had happen to me that was along those lines. But I've had aspects or things happen to me, that I saw as physical. Like when I was 9 years old, I saw something that, to this day, I'll go to my grave claiming it was a Bigfoot. I've seen weird lights in the sky. I think that most people on this planet can raise their hand and say that they've seen some sort of something in the sky at some point in their lives, that they couldn't explain, that they knew wasn't a plane or a helicopter, wasn't a shooting star, wasn't the moon, wasn't Mercury or Venus, Mars, or any other astral body, wasn't a satellite, wasn't an asteroid that took out half of a city, right? It wasn't, something that caused the Tunguska event. It was, something anomalous, something unidentified. So other than the two other things, right? The Bigfoot and, the thing that grabbed my toe while I was sleeping when I was in the service, I don't think that I'm necessarily a magnet for anything. And I've read somewhere multiple times, and the value changes depending on what the source is, but you can go to any group of people and grab a random value, random sampling of people from anywhere, and ask them if they've had, some sort of run-in with some sort of supernatural, paranormal, unexplained anomalous phenomenon. And most of that group of people will come up with something in their life that they can't explain. Missing time, an out-of-body experience, something along those lines. Sometimes it comes in the form of a spirit, that looks like the grandmother. Sometimes it comes in the form of a dog that they watched run through a wall. And sometimes it just smells like a fart when they didn't fart. Right. And
sure, phantom smell.
I'm just being serious. Smells. Right. It's a real thing. And, but the fact of the matter is that, the two events that I had is nothing special. Right. In fact, I'm average compared to most people in this world. So I am not by any means one of these magnetized people. So answering that from me is, I personally can't do it. but I get curious, right? So I look for other people's answers, but the problem when you do that is that there is such, like I was saying before, there's such a huge spectrum of people's answers, and you get the skeptics that are like, oh, it's just people looking for attention, and then you get the people that drink all the Kool-Aid, and they're like, oh man, this person literally wipes their ass with crystals, and it's because they use crystal toilet paper, and they get the power transferred to them from these special crystals. And then there's the people that then you get people that are really scientific, and they're like, well, it's because they have this certain gene. It's a genetic thing. And then there's people that are like, yeah, well, it's because their ancestors were these shamanic practicers or whatnot. People who have descendants from just for example, skinwalkers, right? People who are descendants of skinwalkers are supposedly more susceptible to these kind of experiences, although they don't have any of the abilities or the knowledge of medicine or practices that the old skinwalkers or the
shamans,
the people who used to practice this stuff, they don't have any of that, but yet it's imprinted into their genetics. They're more susceptible to this kind of stuff. So it's and that's just a very small sampling of some explanations as to what a lot of this is. And then there's a theory that once it happens to you, then you become a magnet. That it's also a compounded interest kind of thing, that once you're found by one, then another one finds you, and then the more that it happens to you, the more likely that's going to happen again. I don't know, it's a strange thing, and it's that kind of stuff that I love so much about this world, is because you don't get a steady answer from any of it, and it's so difficult to put the puzzles together. But it's the search for that aha moment that I'm looking for, and that's what this whole thing is about, is looking for that aha moment. And hopefully one day we'll get that for that kind of answer. It'd be cool to see something come out from the scientific community to answer that question.
Yeah, what do you think, Jeff?
Drugs.
All drugs.
It's very Jeff answer.
All of it.
If you're looking for that aha moment,
it's like DMT will give you that aha moment.
Yeah, man. Hook yourself up to a Montauk chair with some focus tapes and a little bit of psilocybin, and you're good to go, brother.
Attaboy.
There's a guy in downtown Menominee that he saw the truck the other day, and he's like, oh yeah, is that your podcast? I was like, yeah, I'm one of the co-hosts. He's like, what type of rabbit holes are we talking about? And I was like, aliens, paranormal, stuff like that. And he's like, where's the aliens? I was like, I don't believe in aliens, but and he's like, I can show you aliens. You want to see some aliens? And I'm like, nah, bro.
I gotta go.
He got real intense, real fast. And I was like, nah, dude, I'm good. Appreciate it. You talked to the wrong co-host for that stuff. That guy's in Florida.
So we actually did an episode about the theory, and I don't know if you guys have ever heard it. Maybe you have. Maybe this is nothing new to you guys, but the theory that aliens and ghosts could be the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
we talk about like interdimensional entities a lot, and like a lot of the times I'll kind of merge that into the same thing. I don't see why there's any reason that the spirit world or this in-between world or whatever, wherever these ghosts are residing, can't be in like some parallel dimension, if you will, right? So I have no problem kind of like, it's same thing with what Jake always talks about, like demonic entities or angelic entities, right? Like to me, all of that could be just classified under like interdimensional or like multiverse of some kind. So
sure,
I'm there for it.
Aren't you a conspiracy theorist, right, Jeff?
That's what they say. Sure, yeah.
Because that kind of falls within the Mandela effect and the time shifts and those kinds of things too. Like it could all just be alternate universes existing at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, it could be a lot of different things now, but then I do think there's something to, like, Jake always says this, like, how come there's never a ghost of like some hipster that just got blown up by his vape, right? Like, how come it's always some ghost from, like, back in the day? It's always like, I don't know. It does seem like at least the stories that we get are, what's the word like cliche almost, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's you never run into that hipster ghost broke his neck on his longboard, which is weird. But that could just be like, that's not a fun story, right? Like, you want to go to a spooky place and like find these entities, right? Like, if you just stumble across these entities at the intersection where Walmart is because somebody got hit by a car there, like, there's also so much shit going on there, like, you probably wouldn't even notice it anyways, right? Or if you're in these, like, if you're in these other places, the energy of the places themselves probably affect how you could, like when you guys were talking earlier about, like, some people are sensitive and like they can tune into this. Sure. And also I also believe that there's probably energy attached to landmarks, right? So, that's where you get like Skinwalker and like these portals and stuff like that. I think it's just energetic space.
So when we were talking, actually, it's kind of interesting that you brought that up. When we were at Shakers, we had talked about, Bob was talking about that too, like how he would go to a place and Bob is one of these people that has had a lot of experiences and now owns this haunted bar, and, but he was talking about going to the Alamo, and you could just feel the energy when you got there and how different the energy was. And no, I mean, I don't think that everybody who goes to the Alamo is going to feel that, but if you're more susceptible to it, more open to it, you're just going to feel that in different locations. Of course, locations have to keep some sort of energy, I would think, especially if something super tragic happens there.
Well, have you ever been to like one of those Civil War battlefields like Gettysburg?
I feel like I have, but I was a kid, so I don't really remember. I don't remember much.
When I was stationed in Maryland, we took a trip, and I'll tell you, being on those fields, those areas, right? And you go up to like this spot, and it's just kind of off in the distance of, it's everyone's kind of huddled around in the middle of a field, and you're just kind of messing around in the tree line. You're like, I wonder what kind of history happened here, right? The field's cool and everything, and I'm sure there was some pretty badass stuff over there. But you're just like sitting there and you're like, man, but this just feels different right here. It's weird. It's I don't know, maybe I am susceptible to stuff. I have no idea. Probably not.
You need to go to Normandy. You want to feel some weird feelings? Go to Normandy.
Oh my, dude! Like, I couldn't even imagine
when we were over there, because we stopped in Brest, France, on one of my deployments, and we got to drive into Normandy, and I got sand from Omaha and Utah Beach and stuff. But literally, the whole landscape has hills, and that's all from mortar shells and like all that, like all the explosions stuff. It used to be flat, and it's all filled with hills and stuff because those were all the craters from artillery going off and everything. But you go over there, and then you go to the National Cemetery in Normandy, bro. You get some weird like depression starts sinking in. I don't know if it's related to anything in the paranormal, or just like, you see just graves and graves and graves marked with like 18, 20-year-old kids, and there's thousands of them. It's just like, it's kind of mind blowing. But yeah, it's like, there's definitely I don't know. There could be areas that are attracted to energy like that. Or, if I were to say like a demonic spirit or a demonic oppression or something like that, but then also, maybe just the knowledge of what occurred there is enough for us to be empathetic enough or sensitive enough to just be like, this is a, you start feeling some sort of way about it,
That's a good point. And that's, like a skepticism, I guess I would have. And this goes along the lines of the cryptids or the paranormal or really any of these things, right? Is that like, you know, when you know about something like that's wild or crazy, especially in a spot, right? Then, and you're in that spot too, right? I wonder how much of it is that, right? So like if you were to do an experiment and you were to pull somebody out of like the Amazon jungle, like an uncontacted tribes person, right? And like bring him to one of these places that are super haunted. Don't tell him that it's a spooky place. Just chill and see if they have some weird. Does this make sense? I don't know how that would work.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be that. It could just be some Joe Schmo that's just never been to that area before. Grab someone from the Appalachians that have never left that area and take him over to the Dahmer house and just be like, or the Dahmer, you know, his.
Well, the only reason I said like a tribes person, the only reason I said a tribes person is because they're not also affected by like cultural norms, things that we think is creepy and spooky, right? Like, I think any of us could go to like a spooky house and be like, this is a spooky fucking house, right? You bring somebody from the fucking jungle to a spooky house, you can be like, this is awesome, right? So like,
I don't have to make it. It's already here for me. Yeah.
Right. There's not a jaguar trying to kill me in this place. Like, great. So then I wonder if they run into like some spooky shit. Then you know for sure, like, okay, there's something really going on here. Because that's the problem, right? When you watch the shows and stuff, it's like, you know, the meters and the things like that, like none of that really translate over TV. So it's like when I'm, you know, not being an investigator myself, I just get this like third hand experience where it's like, okay, I'm watching people in a spooky place using devices that I'm not registering here, right? Like it's not translating through the device to me. So I'm not getting the same vibe that those people are getting. And it's the same with cryptids, right? It's like they're out there hunting and it's like, dude, I saw the Bigfoot. And they're freaked out, and it's like, bro, but your camera is ass, and it always is ass, and it doesn't translate to TV very well, right? So it's hard for the rest of us.
You know what that means? That means we have to start going places and doing things so that you can have a firsthand experience.
Yes,
that's true. I'm down for field trips.
Yeah,
I'm down.
See, that's fun.
So I was gonna mention this a minute ago, and we got sidetracked down some other things. But when Raven had asked, I can't remember what the original question was. I was going to say that Jake and Jeff, there is a topic that I think you guys should come together on, and present.
Which is?
Spit it out.
It's called the Collins Elite. You guys ever heard of it?
No.
The Collins Elite? Let me look this up right now. I'll tell you if this is a sign.
The Collins Elite. I think this is perfectly mending you two together. Perfectly.
Christians who have concluded that the UFO phenomenon is demonic in origin and who work to discourage government contact with NHEs, whatever NHEs are, non-human entities.
So they are.
I'm with that.
They are a group. They are a group of people.
So basically,
they're actually like a sort of like a secret society within branches of the military and the government and intelligence communities that actively push against the research into UFO and alien anomalies, phenomena that go on, because they believe, or they claim to know that this UFO and UAP and alien, all these events that are going on in the world are all being pushed by demonic activity that was caused by L. Ron Hubbard and this other guy, I can't remember his name, that opened up a portal doing this practice back in 1974.
Jack Parsons and L. Ron Hubbard.
Jack Parsons and L. Ron Hubbard. They actually were participating in this sort of this practice that was originally created by Aleister Crowley.
Yeah, thelemic ritual.
The thelemic ritual. And they opened up this portal, and that's when all of these demonic entities started bleeding through. And in 1974, that's when we had this humongous wave of UFO activity sweep over the world, and that's when we had the big summer of UFO and flying saucer activity, including Jake, the your homeboy who had the flying saucer report from Mount Rainier.
Yeah,
in
You know what's
1974.
interesting about all that, brother, is I actually
Kenneth Arnold.
live like 7 miles or 8 miles in a straight line from where they did that ritual. I think it was at launch. I think it was launch pad 33, which is not a coincidence.
Did you not just hear me say that this is a perfect mend of the two of you? I just said that.
Well, I heard you say that. I was just saying, like, hey, I live right next to where they did that.
I was
ritual.
like, hey, Jake, hey, Jeff, this is like the perfect thing for both of you guys to come together and do. And you were like, let me see if this is a psyop, you dumbass. And I was like, all right, go ahead.
Well, here's the thing, though. In order for us to do that, I would have to fly down there, which means that my plane would most likely crash.
If you do it now, yeah.
I'm not going to do that. And gas prices in a 2012 Tundra, I mean, I'm going to spend $1 million to get there.
Yeah. Well, good thing I believe Nick Redfern wrote a book on it. So you can
I don't know how to read, so I guess I'm going to fly.
But yeah, if you're in the chat and you want to see them get together and present that topic, if not, you'll have to wait for me to do it in a couple of years.
Good old fashioned collab.
I would like to see them present that topic, so I'm voting for that.
That's one vote. But that I can tell you right now that is not enough to get them to do it.
And
they both presented
we could talk
one
about
topic
it all
last
day.
year.
I mean, if you're asking us to like write 30-page essay, probably not. But if you want us to sit down and talk for 2 hours about it, I could do that next week.
You're going to go into Grok right now and go punch in. Give me a 30-minute presentation on the Collins Elite, and then it's going to punch it out in AI, and then you're going to present it. That's what you're going to do. It's going to take you all of 60 seconds.
Enough, bro. I've already exhausted the AI, bro. It's not good enough. I haven't used it in months because it's just boring now. It's not good enough yet.
You're going to be like, so what do you guys think about Collins Elite? We're like, yeah, that's pretty cool. that's your episode.
Yeah, we agree.
Yeah, we agree.
Jeez, man. You guys are nuts. All right. Well, Raven, why don't you go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you. We're going to go ahead and start signing off here. So let everyone know where they can listen to your stuff, where they can follow you on all your socials, what kind of upcoming cool projects you have, whether it's within Darkwoods Paranormal or outside of Darkwoods Paranormal. Let everybody know that you're going to be at UFO Days again, and any other cool things that you're going to be doing. And then, of course, I am in charge of setting the lineup this year for presenters, and a little birdie told me that you were interested. So
yes.
We'll of course talk about that too. So go ahead. The floor is all yours.
So you can always find us at darkwoodsparanormal.com. That is our main website, but you can also find our podcast wherever you get podcasts. So iHeartRadio, Spotify, any of those things. We also have a Facebook page. So you can follow us on Facebook at Darkwoods Paranormal and also TikTok. So it's Darkwoods Paranormal on TikTok as well. Darkwoods Paranorm, I think it says, but it might not be the full word. But that's where you can find us. Come follow us. Come like, comment, share, all of the things. Subscribe. We're always looking for stories. Always looking for people's experiences. So if anybody has experiences they don't feel too scared to share, they can always email us at darkwoodsparanormalpodcast@gmail.com. Or even just reach out to us on any of our platforms as well. But tomorrow we are dropping a brand new episode. Like I said, Gabriel is working. He was very scared to work on this episode. That sounds silly, but it's the Book of Magic. So he's talking all about the Book of Magic, kind of like the Devil's Book or the Devil's Bible, I think he had called it originally. But that's what he's working on tonight. And he's like, I am afraid. I don't want to invite anything in, but he's going to be releasing that tomorrow. So tomorrow morning that should be out. And you can find us if anyone was going to Missouri Paracon, they could find us at Missouri Paracon starting on Friday of this week. So we'll be at Missouri Paracon on Friday. We have a vendor booth, and we're also saying if anyone was listening on here and then went, we would give them a free shirt. So if they show up, they can get some free merch from us. Yeah.
Hey,
we're going to Missouri. Look at that.
Guys, we're doing free. So that's this week, and then the weekend after that, so the 7th, we will be at Skippy's Bar in Barron, Wisconsin, doing an overnight investigation of their bar, which will be very interesting. Like I said, I interviewed somebody today about a bartender that used to work there, and he is certain that we're going to catch something. So I kind of love that for us. Should be interesting. We're actually going to be doing a live from our Facebook and also from our TikTok and recording that as well. But we will be going live at 3 a.m. So if anybody wants to check that out, they can watch, or they can just wait for the recorded episode to come out. But those are the things coming up, and those in the next couple of weeks. Also in Milwaukee, we'll be going to HorrorCon the second weekend of March. So there's a lot coming up in the next few weeks, but we will be out and about and all over the place, and hopefully at UFO Days with you guys. So yeah, that's what we got. But yeah, come listen to us. Like I said, we have a wide variety of topics, but something for everyone, I think,
Lowe's knows what makes SpringFest savings even better are member-only doorbuster deals. Right now, rewards members can save $40 on an Allen & Roth Chesler Gold faucet. Was $99, now $59. Plus, save $110 on a Cobalt 40-volt battery trimmer and blower combo kit. Was $279, now $169. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 3/24 while supplies last. Program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Pepsid Complete knows that food is one of the best parts of game day. That is, until heartburn strikes. Thankfully, just one chewable tablet of Pepsid Complete provides dual-action heartburn relief with an antacid that starts working instantly and an acid reducer that lasts all day. So you can stay focused on that second helping of chili without worrying about heartburn. All day based on 8-hour symptom relief studies during the day. Use product only as directed.
Hey, Fidelity. How can I remember to invest every month?
With the Fidelity app, you can choose a schedule and set up recurring investments in stocks and ETFs.
Oh, that sounds easier than I thought.
You got this.
Yeah, I do. Now, where did I put my keys?
You will find them where you left them.
Investing involves risk, including risk of loss. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
Skeeter, did you really ask us to do the Philadelphia experiment? Did he really?
I don't know.
I did a 2.5 part episode on the Philadelphia experiment already.
Wasn't good enough.
That was like a 4-hour endeavor that I did just for you.
Used Grok, you fucking idiot.
I didn't. I actually Grok didn't even exist when I did that.
Should have waited.
You should have used Chat GPT, and then you could have had the demons talking to you through the AI.
That is some pretty weird stuff. But Barron's right down the road from us. That's pretty cool.
I mean, maybe you guys can come too. We would love for you guys to come too. So it'll be the 7th. I did reach out, but didn't get confirmation yet to the owner to see if we could do another day if you guys were interested in joining us for a second investigation.
The 7th,
yeah, Friday. So it'd be like we have to be there at 2:30 in the morning on that Friday. But
yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit. I can't do the 7th, but
it'd be for the 8th.
We can talk
with you.
I can't. I can't do the 8th either. But we'll talk about it here in a little bit. Well, Raven, hang tight for a minute. Once I go ahead and stop the recording, it's going to kick us off this or at least off Twitch. and it's going to download your video and audio over to me for a minute, which only takes a little bit, but we'll discuss some other things offline. It does this weird thing where it kind of like keeps us over on Twitch for a few minutes, and then everyone in the chat will keep telling us that we're live for a little while. It's weird. They do it every time. They love it. But all right, Jake, Jeff, you guys got anything else to say before we go?
No, I appreciate you coming on, Raven. I won't see you in any of the near future events, but I will probably see you at UFO Days. So,
yes, Raven, thank you for coming on and chatting with us for a little bit. I know we're kind of goofy and stuff, but yeah, it was cool hearing your side of the investigation world. You know, something like something that Jeremy said, where since CJ left, I mean, we really don't dabble in the paranormal. You know, I don't think that any of us really put much weight into that, you know, as far as like just a straight up like, yeah, ghosts are real type thing. So we don't have that personality. And so it's nice to have someone else come on and just kind of give their account of that side. And, you know, it sounds like you and your co-host Gabriel are doing some really cool stuff. And hopefully one day we'll grow up and pull our heads out of our butts and start doing trips too. Like that would be pretty cool. But yeah. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me, you guys. I really liked this. It was nice to chat with all of you. You've been wonderful. So,
thank you.
Very, very cool.
Indeed.
Well, indeed.
Well, that has been another episode of the Infinite Rabbit Hole podcast. I am about, I'd say, another week or two away from officially announcing the new project. And I am probably it's probably safe to say that the book will not be published by UFO Days. There have been some hiccups in the process, and it looks like it's going to be post UFO Days. So I will not have the book at the festival, but it is what it is. Things happen. Stay tuned. Maybe that changes. We'll see. But until next time, travelers, this has been another episode of the Infinite Rabbit Hole podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy, and I'll see you in the next fork in the path of the Infinite Rabbit Hole. And they didn't boo that guy. They didn't boo him this time, everybody. Nobody booed me. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for checking out the Infinite Rabbit Hole podcast. If you're looking for more of our stuff, head on over to infiniterabbithole.com, where you can find links to all the podcast players that we are available on, and even our video platforms such as TikTok and YouTube. While you're there, make sure to check out all the links for our socials and hit that follow so you know when all the new stuff from our podcast comes out. And until next time, travelers, we'll see you right here in the next fork in the path of the Infinite Rabbit Hole. Bye.